Hey, it's Aaron, and today I want to talk about the 2025 Kia EV6. So the EV6 is one of my favorite vehicles, especially in the electric lineups. So it's a kind of a right-size station wagon slash SUV. It's a really good design. It's a good size. So for me, Kia and Hyundai have really hit the mark on all of their electrics, Genesis as well. So this one in particular, it came out in 2022, gets a little bit of a refresh this year, has some changes in the front and back. Not too much, it's pretty subtle, but you will see it if you're looking. It's quick, it drives nicely, it's bigger than it looks. Couple of things that are maybe a little bit odd to some people, but that will kind of make sense just because of the change up. Bigger batteries this year. The NACS charge port that I talked about on everything but the GT. The GT gets a new set of batteries and controllers that up horsepower to 641. That was from 576 before. Because of that, it still uses the old style or the J1772 plug. That will probably change next year, but as of now, that's the way it plugs in. So I drove the GT this year. Really liked it. It is fairly expensive. So you're going to spend a little bit of money to get into the GT model that I drove. That starts at around $64,000 plus delivery and stuff. Otherwise, if you don't have to have the GT, you can get into the base model Wind, is what I think it was called. That's about $50,000. And if you go up to the kind of mid-range model, which I don't remember the name for. I think it's just SUV is the name for it. Anyway, to get into that one, you're going to spend about $43,000, and that's probably where you should expect to be, because most likely that's the model you're going to want, and most likely that's going to have all the stuff that you want in it already. Otherwise, there is a GT line. This is about $54,000. This is kind of it adds some of the GT's sportiness and stuff as far as the suspension and a few things go, but it does not add the power upgrade or any of that. You have to go to the full GT to get that. So let's talk about the models for this. There are some cheap options before the Wind. So I think most people, when they're buying the entry level on this, they're probably going to end up in the Wind. But there is a light and a light long range model. The light model is the cheapest of the group. It starts, I think, at about $44,000. It's a little harder to get information on this, and you probably will not see this on the dealer floor. You probably have to order it. It comes with a smaller battery pack, has 63 kilowatt hours. That's going to get in 167 horsepower. That's going to give it a maybe range of 237 miles. I think most people will be lucky to break 200 in that. It's just the reality of things. The light long range goes to the 84 kilowatt battery pack that is standard in every other of the model of the EV6. So if you get the light long range in rear wheel drive, so not all wheel drive, then you'll have about 319 miles of range. So just round it to 300. If you get the all-wheel drive, it's going to drop down to 295. These are EPA numbers. And then if you get the GT line, you got 319 with rear-wheel drive and 270 with all-wheel drive. Now, if you get into the full GT, you've got that same 84 kilowatt battery pack, but your range is only about 231 miles because this is a fast-paced, sporty car with a lot of power output. 601 horsepower normally, 641 in launch mode, which gives you roughly 10 seconds of really good speed. They're just more powerful motors, so they eat up more electricity, which means your range is less. Now, in the real world, I was able to break 200 in this car as long as I wasn't hot dogging too often. And most normal everyday driving, you're probably not really hot dogging. I mean, jumping out of the red light and getting up to the speed limit really fast, okay, you're going to do that most of the time, but that doesn't eat your battery nearly as much. Not like if you were sustained along high speed, or if you're like on the freeway, or if you're gunning it constantly, or you're just hitting it, letting off, hitting it, letting off. A lot of people I've seen when they get a new car, whatever it is, they often do that, where they'll let themselves coast to slow down so that they can speed up again and feel it. As long as you're not doing those sorts of things, you'll get 200 miles out of this pretty easily. So that's kind of my assessment. I really like the feel, the look, the ergonomics, the design, the drive quality. I like everything about this car. It could have a little bit more range, sure, but most people probably don't actually need that. And most people are probably not going to be buying the GT with that limited range. Most people are going to be closer to that 250 to 300 mile range area with this car with the packages that they buy. I would recommend all-wheel drive, unless you live in a place where rear-wheel drive is fine, like say Florida, Southern California, places like that, Arizona and stuff like that. But I think for most people, all-wheel drive is probably the better choice on this. And as far as price tags go, you're going to start at somewhere in that $44,000 range, and you're going to top out at a little over 65. Just figure out where you want to be in that. The light long range, which has the longest range of all of the EV6s, that starts at about 47.5 to 48, depending on a couple of things. But the MSRP is 47,695. So if that's what you're after, is just to maximize that range, that's going to be your choice. You may find that one on a dealer lot, but most likely you'll have to order it. The wind starts at 52-ish, and it's a little under 52. And that's probably your better option anyway. It'll have better stuff in it. It's a nicer vehicle, and it has pretty close to the same range. So I would just go with that. Anyway, that's it. That's the 2025 Kia EV6, the Spin Aaron. Talk to you again soon.